Good evening. Welcome to our Staten Island public hearing on the proposed water and sewer rates for fiscal year 2026, the year starting July 1st, 2025. Those of you who've been here before probably recognize me. I am the board's treasurer, Omar Nazem. I am also this evening double-hatted as the board's public hearing officer, and I'll be trying to shepherd things and keep things flowing in a reasonably efficient fashion. I would like to thank the JCC for making this facility available to us. We've been here for a number of years. It's been a very welcoming and easy to work with venue. We thank them for making it available to us. I do want to mention this meeting is being recorded. There's an audio recording and a video recording being made. A transcript of the meeting will be made available on the board's website following the hearing at nyc.gov/nycwaterboard. We have placed several official documents in the folder that is up here with me. There's a notice appointing me the public hearing officer. There are verified copies of the public notices that appeared in the newspapers announcing this meeting. There's a draft rate schedule and a set of billing policies and regulations that are the subject of this hearing that, if adopted by the board, would take effect on July 1st. There is a public information booklet, which we call the Blue Book. There are also copies of that available on the desk at the front table for your interest, as well as on the board's website. And we have copies of the written testimony we've received from the public so far on these proposed policies. The program today will follow the format that we followed in previous years in the other boroughs. There will be an initial section where DEP will present an update on what's happened over the last year, as well as a summary of the proposed rate changes and policies for the coming year, and a preliminary take on the board's budget. Following that, the second part of the hearing will be a chance for the public to speak in 5-minute intervals to comment on or make recommendations on or generally respond to the proposed rate increase. I do want to say the purpose of this hearing is to allow the public to speak and present their viewpoints. It's not meant to be debate format, so we're here to listen, we're here to take notes. All testimony provided by the public is recorded, and we transcribe it, and we provide it in summary format to the entire board prior to their vote, which is scheduled for June 6th. If you wish to speak and have not yet registered, you can register at the front desk. If you've already registered, I have your name here on the list, and we'll go through the list in the order in which people registered. If you also don't want to speak today but do want to provide testimony, you can send testimony to us anytime up to June 4th by email or telephone. You can email it to us at nycwaterboard@dep.nyc.gov, or you can mail it to us at 5917 Junction Boulevard, 8th floor, Flushing, New York, 1173, or you can call us at 718-595-3591, and in any of those fashions, you'll convey the testimony to us. With me here on the dais today, I have from the Water Board member Daniel Zarrilli, and from DEP, DEP's Chief Financial Officer, and also the board's Executive Director, Marissa Moret. With that, I will stop talking. I'll let DEP take the spotlight, and then we'll have a chance for folks to respond and comment. So, thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming today. My name is Marissa Moret, and then, as Omar said, I'm the Chief Financial Officer of the Department of Environmental Protection, DEP, and the Executive Director of the Water Board. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and joining us for these very important hearings on the proposed rates for fiscal year 2026. The new rates proposed, if voted in by the Water Board, would go into effect on July 1st, 2025. So if we could have the next slide. Just tonight's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit of an overview of DEP, our look forward for the budget for next year, and some key updates on our projects and work from this year. We'll talk about the rate proposal itself, have an update on customer affordability and our collections work, and then just talk again about the schedule for the rest of the next 2 weeks before the final vote. So next slide, please. So we just wanted to start with a quick overview. I think, as you probably all know, DEP is the largest municipal water and wastewater combined utility in North America. We have a uniquely large operating footprint. We deliver 1 billion gallons of drinking water daily from the Catskill Mountains and the Delaware River watershed to 10 million New York residents, including 9 million of whom are here in New York City. We take away the downstream results of that water, treating 1.3 billion gallons of wastewater daily at our wastewater treatment plant. That's sewage, it's wastewater, and also stormwater runoff caused by heavy rainfall. Combined, our labs conduct over 600,000 water quality samples every year. We're very proud of the work that we've done over the last 30+ years on water quality, with our harbor today cleaner than it's been in almost over 100 years, the result of which we're seeing a return of a wide variety of marine life here in the harbor and in our river systems. We also have a unique asset footprint, as you can see. Our drinking water comes from 19 reservoirs and 3 controlled lakes through some of the longest aqueducts in the world. Inside the city, we maintain 7,000 miles of water mains and 109,000 fire hydrants. We look after 150,000 catch basins. We have 16,000 green infrastructure assets like rain gardens and green medians and porous pavement, 7,500 miles of sewer pipes, and 14 wastewater treatment facilities. So next slide, please. How do we fund this system? This extensive system, both the physical assets we build and maintain and the staff who run our operations, these are all paid for by the proceeds of our water and wastewater system customer bills. So the vast majority of our revenue comes from these payments, not from city property taxes or state or federal funding. So paying your bill makes our work possible. And when everyone pays their fair share, we can also keep rates low for everybody. That's why it's so important to us. Next slide, please. So looking forward to the budget for this coming year, in this upcoming fiscal year, the projected expenses for the system, which means our overall budget for the utility, is projected at $4.6 billion. This pays for the operations of the system and also our investments in our assets. DEP is the system operator, and you can see in the first line here, the DEP operations and maintenance expenses for the system is the largest component of our cost. It's over $2 billion forecast for 2026. The next 2 line items are related to capital investment. So those are the investments that build and execute large-scale upgrades to our infrastructure. This is the second largest cost. We pay for our infrastructure construction through municipal bonds. So each year we pay down the capital debt on those bonds for existing projects, and you can see that as the $1.9 billion. We also pay for some of our construction through cash financing. That reduces our future debt. This year that would be $225 million. A small amount of our budget funds the cost of the water board, which is the entity that leases the system, sets the water rates, and collects revenue. We also pay expenses for the water authority, which is the legal entity that executes our municipal bonding. And we also finally have a component of the budget, which is the rental payment to the City of New York. This year is $303 million. This is akin to a payment in lieu of property taxes or a similar expense that most municipal utilities do pay to their local government. So, how do we pay for this budget? Next slide, please. To pay for the budget, it's critical that we have strong revenue collections. This helps to offset our costs, which I'll talk about a little more in a moment, and keep our water rates low. This year in fiscal 25, we're really happy to report that we have had one of the system's strongest financial years ever, helped by the strength of our economy, a wide range of DEP customer service collection initiatives, and the city's tax lien program. Highlights of our work this year are the work to bring customers with outstanding debt into payment agreements. As of the end of last month, in April, nearly 25% of customer accounts with outstanding debt are now in payment agreements. This is up from just 9% at the end of 2022, so just 2.5 years ago. This represents over $250 million worth of debt that's secured now in payment agreements. We've also expanded our use of water service shutoffs. We started that in 2024 and extended now to 2025. Through that payment and that work between our customer service bureau and also our water and sewer operations, we've been able to collect $18 million in payments from customers and had another $21 million committed in customer payment agreements. And finally, with the lien sale that was reauthorized by City Council and has just extended its timing, actually. The original date to close was the 20th of May, but it's been extended for 2 more weeks. We've collected so far over $180 million and secured another $130 million in payment agreements as of the end of last week. This revenue strength allows us to bring this year's rate down lower than was originally forecast. The additional revenue can also support additional investment in our system or can be retained within the system to pay off future debt or future expenses. Next slide, please. So having talked about our revenue, we wanted to provide a little bit more of information on our costs. First, in the budget that I showed you was our O&M, our operations and maintenance cost. This covers the cost of staff and the operations of our many facilities, providing core water and wastewater services. Some examples of the new and expanded O&M core and strategic investments that we're planning to make in 2026 include investments in cybersecurity. The utility industry is actually facing a growing need to invest in cybersecurity. We've had unprecedented warnings coming out of the highest levels at the White House on the increased danger of attacks to U.S. utilities, and so we're constantly investing in preventative measures of this nature. We also continue our investments in information technology to help increase the efficiency of our operations, whether it's upgrades to our customer permit application portals or new sensors installed to better monitor and understand the real-time efficiency of equipment or capacity of our sewer pipes. We're all constantly looking for ways to invest to make our operations work better and more efficiently. We also invest in land management in our watershed to protect the quality of the drinking water and reduce our treatment costs. We also continuously execute maintenance at many of our large facilities, both drinking water facilities upstate and also our many wastewater treatment plants in the city. This includes work on management and contracting costs for the Rondout West Branch Aqueduct repair just north of the city. And in recent years, post-COVID, it has to be said that we've seen a significant pressure on this budget via the cost of inflation-driven change, such as the commodities for water quality treatment and energy inputs to operate our system assets. Next slide, please. The other major part of our budget that I mentioned is our capital budget. This is our capital improvement program, our plans to invest in the maintenance improvement of the system assets. This year we have a refresh to our 10-year capital plan, and at $33.3 billion, it represents the largest capital budget and capital investment in the system's history. You can see from the pie chart that our profile of investment is balanced between the different systems components. We have water supply and distribution at just over $9 billion, sewers at almost $9 billion, and water pollution control at almost $14 billion. This water pollution control also includes our green infrastructure program, which is the largest in North America. It helps both with water pollution control and also catching and naturally treating water before entering the system, helps with flooding as well. This $33 billion budget includes a new investment of this year of $3.8 billion, which was approved in our preliminary and now executive budgets. This includes increases for federally and state mandated water quality projects, water quality infrastructure state of good repair projects, flood control projects such as pump station upgrades and cloudburst projects, and also infrastructure upgrades to support rezoning initiatives and support the development of new housing for New York City. Next slide, please. We wanted to just share some highlights of projects that are underway. These are projects that that help with drinking water and so bring benefits to all citizens around the city. We have a number of really large-scale drinking water supply projects happening. The first is our large investment program at the Hillview Reservoir. This is the last reservoir in a system that collects the water from all areas of the system and distributes through the city. We have major improvements to the reservoir and the connected equipment on our water treatment systems and reservoir protection. We also have a major resiliency project underway to connect our Kensko Reservoir to our ultraviolet treatment plant, which is the largest in the world. And finally, we have the completion of Water Tunnel 3 still underway. This has been a long-term expansion to the conveyance of water from the final reservoirs through to Brooklyn and to Queens. Here in Staten Island, we can go to the next slide, please. Here in Staten Island, we have many different investments, but just to highlight three, we have a $200 million project in sewage pumping These are planned or underway projects that will help with flooding and sewage treatment here in the borough. We have an investment for Staten Island on wastewater treatment in a project that's completing this month. We have $84 million investment in wastewater treatment for the neighborhood of New Dorp. That includes 17,000 feet of water main upgrades, 16,000 feet of sewer upgrades, and over 8,000 to 9,000 feet of new storm sewers. This is a project that's done in coordination with DOT. It also improves streets and sidewalks in the areas that were affected initially by Superstorm Sandy. As I mentioned, this was a collaborative project with DOT, also with FEMA, and the work was managed by the city's Department of Design and Construction. The city's Blue Belt program is also one that's heavily investing in Staten Island. It's an innovative program that combines stormwater management and public amenity creation. We take open land and improve that land for water management purposes, but also allow for public access. So the Midland Beach Blue Belt project includes $14.4 million of additional funds to protect against flooding and also add to the borough's green space. The improvement includes a 3-acre site in the borough's Midland Beach neighborhood, located about just under 1 mile from the Atlantic Ocean. It's part of our overall Blue Belt program that has a combined capital budget allocation of $465 million between fiscal 2025 to 2035, and the majority of those projects are here in Staten Island. Next slide, please. So following on some of those highlights, jumping straight to the proposal for the water rates. If you have the next slide, please. So this year, DEP is recommending a 3.7% increase to the water rates for the fiscal year 2026. This is actually the lowest rate increase in 4 years, and as I mentioned, it's made possible in part by our strong revenue collections this year. The original forecast for fiscal 26 was actually similar to this year's rate increase of 8.5%. But as I mentioned, with the strong revenue collections we've been doing, we've been able to offset that increase and keep the rate lower at the proposed 3.7%. As of last week, in fact, our revenue collections were ahead of plan by over $330 million, or nearly 9% ahead of plan. This proposal of 3.7% means that our 10-year average increase is below 3%. And despite this last year's, particularly post-COVID, being a period of elevated inflation and also a period of continued capital investment in the system, it's, as I said, keeping the overall 10-year increase below 3% overall. This rate is also lower or comparable to other rates proposed for utilities in New York City, and it's also lower than the rate increases we're seeing around the country. Next slide, please. So what does this mean for the average customer? So if the proposed 3.7% increase is adopted by the board, customers would see the following changes to their bills. So a typical single-family homeowner will see an increase from approximately $1,181 a year to $1,224 a year for the water and sewer bills. So that's an increase of approximately $3.60 a month. A typical multifamily unit with metered billing would see the increase from $877 a year to $909 a year per unit. So that's an increase of $2.67 per month. Customers on the multifamily flat rate plan would see a similar monthly increase. And then we're proposing no change, specifically no increase, to our minimum charge for low water use properties. So this would stay at $463 per year. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, these New York City water bills compare quite favorably to the cost of other cities. Water still remains one of the best deals that we have here in the city. We consistently see bills for customers lower than that of the peer cities, and we've been tracking for many years this group of 30 peer cities around the country. We fare particularly well against other cities that have similar water or wastewater system as ours, such as San Francisco or Boston. You can see here that our annual bill is tracking around 20% lower than those peer cities. We've seen typical rate increases for those cities this year at about 5 to 6% versus 3.7% that we are proposing this year. Next slide. So, we can go to the next slide. Thank you. So along with the proposed rate revisions this year, we're including not just the 3.7 increase, but we're also proposing a series of other improvements that we hope will be welcomed by our customers. And as Eleanor mentioned, these are all laid out in the documents that are publicly available. I want to say thanks particularly to our Deputy Commissioner for the Bureau of Customer Services, Albert Kramer, who's here in the audience, and welcome to answer questions or talk afterwards. He's been leading these improvements from his bureau. So some of the changes that you'll see in the documents include a series of changes that are intended to save customers money or make our programs more accessible to more customers. This includes, for example, increasing the reimbursement for customer-installed meters for the first time since 2010, with a proposed 55% increase in the reimbursable amount made possible when customers install their own water meters. Another change is that we're going to be providing customers with longer warning times and more time to correct issues before we charge penalties. And finally, we're streamlining and making more flexible the terms for our leak forgiveness program and our meter bill cap. These are two billing provisions which provide adjustments for customers with higher than usual bills, where the cause of that use is corrected or the use was not due to the fault of the customer. Next slide, please. We're also making changes to allow for customers facing a water service shutoff to be able to obtain a medical exemption from a physician's assistant, not only a physician, and also to allow medical exemptions to remain in effect for a longer time period. We're also changing our denial of access fee to make it fully refundable. So if you allow us access, we will happily give you your money back. Finally, next slide, please. We're particularly pleased to be able to end with an update on our customer affordability programs, and in particular an enhancement of those programs, including our flagship Home Water Assistance Program, HWAP program, and the Multifamily Water Assistance Program, our MWAP program. We have a $26 million program budget for those, which will be reauthorized for fiscal year 26, but proposed amendments will ensure that all the funds are credited to customers each year. In specific, this means that our HWAP credit will increase to $159 per year, an increase of almost 10% of additional savings on customers' bills. Also, for the MWAP program, this is a program that has been traditionally oversubscribed, and we haven't been able to enroll more customers and properties despite high demand. The change here will allow us to extend this program to additional 20,000 affordable residential units, so to reach a total of 65,000 units. We hope that this will be a welcome addition for affordable housing providers throughout the city. The other programs listed here are Multifamily Conservation Program, which is a program that provides a fixed annual per apartment rate for building owners who are metered and have water efficiency fixtures. This program will continue in fiscal 26. And our Leak Forgiveness Program will also continue in fiscal 26, albeit with the more flexible terms that I just described. So we're very happy to be able to enhance those programs and extend them to more customers with higher credits. So finally, just to recap and to also make a mention, if we could go to our next slide, one of the other changes this year that we're happy to talk about is that we now have borough commissioners in place for all 5 boroughs, supporting our operations, our community relations, and our educational outreach. Here in Staten Island, it's Mario Bruno. I'm afraid he couldn't be here tonight because he's unexpectedly out sick. But he is here along with our members of the Water Board to help support questions and activities that we have here in Staten Island. So please feel free to reach out to him, and his contact information is here in the proposal, in the presentation. But if we could go to our last slide, just to recap, Our in-city proposed rate increase is 3.7% proposed, beginning July 1st, 2025. As I mentioned and Omar mentioned, our public hearings are taking place throughout the boroughs between today and June the 3rd, followed by the board meeting and vote on June the 6th. Testimony, comments, or questions regarding the rate, the hearings, or any other prepared materials or prepared testimony that you'd like to provide. Requests to register to speak through the hearings can be directed to the contacts that Omar noted and listed above, the New York City Water Board at dep.nyc.gov, or you can call 718-595-3591 on weekdays between 9 to 5 p.m. And again by mail at 59-17 Junction Boulevard, the 8th floor, Flushing, New York, 11373. You can see on the last slide, we just have set out the other public hearings. Today is our first public hearing here in Staten Island, but we have hearings in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, and Manhattan this week and next week, open of course to all. And then again, the last public meeting to vote is on Friday, June the 6th in Manhattan. So thank you very much. This ends the presentation.
Thank you, Narissa. I'm going to go to our registered speakers now. I have two names on the list. The first name I have is Mr. Edward Malone. Mr. Malone. Actually, let me bring the speaker. Let me bring the microphone to you.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the DEP Commissioner for the commitment to fulfill his promise to collect the outstanding bills that have been paid using the lead process in this endeavor. The proposed 3.7 increase in our rates, effective July 1st, may look good, but when added to the previous 3 years, we are faced with 21.52% increase in our water rates. Doesn't look that good, does it? The issue to remove all lead water and sewer pipes in the city of New York is a great cost to homeowners. The 15-year proposal would cost homeowners up to $8,000 or more. However, the mayor announced that he will spend $390 million using City of Yes funds to replace water and sewer lines in a flooding area in Bushwick, Brooklyn. In addition, all iron pipes will be replaced free of charge for all residents and commercial properties. Will this be the norm for all DEP projects where the City of Yes is involved? The mayor announced that he secured $48 million from the federal government to have lead pipes replaced for low-income residents. Of course, this begs the question, who is a low-income person? Then there is a third group not mentioned. The middle-income people, the homeowners, who pay for every increased cost of our real estate taxes, water bills, gas and electric, you name it, we pay. This is one of the highest cost of living places to live is the city of New York and in the United States. Yes, we pay. What do we get in return? The shaft. Rental payments. In fiscal year 2026, the mayor is scheduled to receive over $300 million in rental payments in a 3-year period. This amounts to $737 million. And next year, it's expected to be another $300 million. We're talking about over $1 billion he's getting. The highest amount in the highest amount in any 3-year periods since the agreement went into effect in July of 1985. Even Bloomberg, when he increased our rates 12, 14%, he never got that much as a rental payment. July 1st, 2025 is the 40th anniversary of the agreement between the mayor's office and the board. It's about time we, the ratepayers, know what the mayor is using the money for. And does he adhere to the provisions outlined in Article 8, Sections 1, 2, and 3 of the agreement? The board should include this information to the public during a board meeting. Maybe it's about time that the 40-year document be updated. The world has changed in the last 40 years. The ratepayers have a right to know it's our money. Have a good time? Okay. I saw up on your screen about the fact that you are agreeing for changes in zoning. I wanted to point out that here on Staten Island, that's anathema. We are not want our zones changed. In addition, the civic associations of almost all 5 boroughs have gotten together, and we have filed a lawsuit against the city of Yes and changing our rates, our zoning. Okay, thank you.
The next speaker